we are talking about times tables. So if you don't know your times table yet, this video is definitely for you.
Okay, we're going to have a look at the 6 times tables first of all. So whenever you're learning any times tables, whether it's your 3 times tables, 4 times tables, you want to learn them all the way to 12. So we're going to start with 1 times 6. So 1 times 6 is equal to 6, obviously. Okay, if we have a look at 2 times 6 next, you know that 1 times 6 is equal to 6. 1 is, if you double 1, it's 2, and the 6 stays the same. So 1 times 6 is equal to 6. Double 6 is 12. Therefore, 2 times 6 is equal to 12. So if you see what we did there, 1 times 6 is 6. Double 1 is 2. So now look at the 2. What is double 2? It's, of course, 4. So 4 times 6 we're going to have a look at next. 2 times 6 is equal to 12. Therefore, 4 times 6 will be equal to whatever double 12 is. So the 6 stays the same. Double 2 is equal to 4. Therefore, 4 times 6 must be double 12. And double 12 is equal to 24. So 4 times 6 is equal to 24. Okay, so we've just done 4 times 6. First we did 1 times 6, which is equal to 6. And then because double 1 is 2, so 2 times 6 is equal to 12. And then double 2 is 4. 4 times 6 is equal to 24. Can you guess which one we're going to do next? What's double 4? Double 4 is, of course, 8. So we're going to have a look at 8 times 6 next. So 4 times 6 is equal to 24. 8 times 6 is equal to double 24. So 4 times 6 is equal to 24. 8 times 6 must be equal to 48 because double 4 is 8. Okay, and then double 8 would be 16. So if you wanted to find out 16 times 6, you would double the 48, but we're not going to do that. Okay, 10 times 6 next, as that's the next easiest one. 1 times 6 is equal to 6, so 10 lots of that would be 60. So 10 times 6 equals 60. So now that we've done 10 times 6, if we're talking about doubling, well, we might as well talk about halving as well, because it's the inverse. So half of 10 is actually 5. So if we know 10 times 6, we could find 5 times 6. 10 times 6 is equal to 60. So then if we have a look at 5 times 6, it must be half of whatever the number 60 is. So 10 times 6 equals 60. 5 times 6 must be equal to 30, of course. Okay, so we've still got a few left to do. We still haven't done 3 times 6 or 6 times 6. I think the next best one to do would probably be 3 times 6. So 3 times 6, you can do this several ways. When we're doing our 6 times tables, or you just need to remember that multiplying is repeated addition. Each time we are adding 6 on. So 6 add 6 is 12. 12 add 6 would give us the next one, and so on. So to find 3 times 6, we can do this different ways. You could do 12 add 6. For example, you could also do 24 take away 6. So if we find 3 times 6, we could do 12 add 6 is equal to 18, or 24 take away 6 is equal to 18. So we know that 3 times 6 is equal to 18. If I know that 3 times 6 is 18, we're going to do what we did before. Double 3 is, of course, 6. So if I know 3 times 6, I definitely know how to find out 6 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18, so 6 times 6 is going to be double the answer. So if we find double 18, that is the answer to 6 times 6, which is, of course, 36. Double 18 is equal to 36. Okay, now we've completed 1 times 6, 2 times 6, 3 times 6, 4, 5 and 6. We've got 7 times 6 next. So again, the same way, if I know 6 times 6 is 36, what I could do is I could just simply add on 6, because that would be the next one. So if in my head I know 6 times 6 is 36 and I'm not sure how to work out 7 times 6, I could just think, okay, I know I need to add another 6 on. So the answer to 7 times 6 is equal to 42. And we can check that just because we've got 8 times 6. If you add 6 to 42, we do get it is equal to 48. and that means we can find the next one each time. So 9 times 6, I could do 60 take away 6, or 48 add 6. And then 11 times 6 is equal to 66. And then 12 times 6 is the last one. What I could do is 6 times 6 is 36. Double 6 is 12. So double 36 will have to give me my answer to 12 times 6. So double 30 is 60 and double 6 is 12. So I'm just partitioning if I'm not quite sure how to double. So 30 add 30 is 60, 6 add 6 is 12, and then add them up, that is 72. 12 times 6 is equal to 72. Okay, what I'd like you to do is now choose a different times table, for example, the 7 times table I've got here. I just want you to write out the questions from 1 times 7 all the way to 12 times 7. If you feel like doing 13 and 14 times 7, go for it. And I want you to work through them, not in order. I don't want you to keep adding 7 each time. I want you to work through the patterns. So 1 times 7 first, and then you can go on to 2 times 7. And then, of course, double 2 is 4. You can do 4 times 7. So I just want you to have a go at that right now. Hopefully you got all of those correct. So the order I would have done them in would be to start off with, obviously 1 times 7 is equal to 7. And then move on to 2 times 7 as it's double. And then after that, double 2 is, of course, 4. So I would have done 4 times 7. So double 14 is equal to 28. And then, of course, double 4 is 8. And then maybe do the 10 and the 5. And you want to do the 3, 6 and 12. So the tips I've just gone through are quite beneficial for long division. So when it comes to you having to write out your times table. So I want you to have a look at the 16 times tables and have a go. Hopefully you got those answers correct. And what you could do is choose the 18 times tables, 29 times tables, choose a different one each time, and maybe have a go at doing one every day. Okay, you're going to grab your ruler and you're just going to measure 2 centimetres from the top on both sides. And once you've measured 2 centimetres, you can join them together with a ruler. So you've got a straight line now, and you're going to measure 2 centimetres again from the width of the sheet of paper or card. And again, you're going to measure them. And then you're going to keep measuring 2 centimetres across from the top, obviously with a ruler. And you can do the same at the bottom of the sheet of paper. And once you've done that, just join them up again with your ruler. So for this next part, you're just going to be decorating now, so you can use washi tape or you can use colours. So I'm just showing you with colours right now. So I've just started off with a green base, and then I'm just going to add different colours just to give it that nice effect. Feel free to decorate this how you want. And now I'm just going to choose a pen and just mark the side. So what I would have done with the pencil, I'm just going to go over it in a coloured pen now. I'm only going up to 12, but if you want to do your 13 times tables, you can. And don't forget to measure 2 centimetres across as well, and join these up with the ruler. So the chart that I'm making now is 12 by 10. Feel free to do 10 by 10, 12 by 12, 6 by 6. Once you finish your chart, what you could do is highlight or colour in the squared numbers.